everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Nat from Nat's Narrative, and today I'm going to be bringing you guys a super cozy reading blog to celebrate the last week of October. I actually already finished filming the blog, so I can tell you exactly what happens in this video. The highlight of the week was when I hosted the second meeting for the book club that I'm a part of. This is the book that we read in October. This is Butcher and Blackbird by Brian Weaver. Because this month was Halloween, I threw in the idea of maybe having a little get together and everyone pitching in with like snacks and food and everything, and I volunteered to host it. I was in charge of decorations and the cheese board, so I will be showing you guys the DIY process for some of the decorations that I used, and also I filmed while I was setting up everything on the day of the meeting, and once the girls came over I did film a couple of clips here and there. It wouldn't be a reading blog without actual reading, so don't worry, there is a couple reading sessions in this video, but there's also baking, decorating with some of the leftover decorations from the meeting, and I watched a Halloween movie. I also finished 2 other books while I was filming this video, so there will be a couple of reading updates thrown in the blog. So yeah, those are the things that you can look forward to in this vlog, and let's go back in time to Wednesday night. Okay guys, I want to do a bit of a reading update. As you may have seen, I listened to the Mexican Gothic audiobook while I was working on the DIY decorations, and I actually finished it. So here is my brief review, okay? I loved it. Even before I hit the 50% mark, I already knew that it was going to be a 5-star, and I was not disappointed. I have to say that it is one of my favorite books of the year, possibly of ever. Like one of my favorite spooky books ever. The book is set in what I believe is either the 1940s or the 1950s, but it's Mexico, right? And it follows this society girl from Mexico City who is sent to the countryside to visit with her cousin. She has been recently married to this Englishman whose family used to be very rich. They used to have a mine, a silver mine, but since the revolution, they lost the mine basically, and now they just continue to live in their Victorian mansion that is basically crumbling because there's no money, right? And Noemi's father is very suspicious of his niece's husband because she is orphaned and she has a lot of money. And this being 1940s or 50s in Mexico, women really didn't have many rights. They didn't even have the right to vote at the time that the book is set, so he could obviously control her finances. Anyway, the cousin, Catalina, sent a letter saying that her husband was poisoning her and that the walls were talking to her. Yeah. It gets very the yellow wallpaper, okay? So yeah, it's an amazing book. It does discuss a lot about racism, colorism, eugenics, all of that fun stuff. But there's also all of the gothic going around, right? In the last 30% of the book, my mind was blown away. I couldn't never come up with what happened at the end of that book. 5 stars. Immediate 5 stars. Another book that I started this week was Heartless Hunter by Kristen Ciccarelli. The book is set in a fantasy world, but there's just been this revolution that reminds me a lot of the Russian Revolution against the Romanov family. So there are witches in this world, right? And the people in charge, the queens, the royalty, they're witches, and then non-witches rise in revolution and they kill the queen witches, and then they set out to hunt all of the other witches and purge them, which means, you know, they execute them. So the main character, her name is Rune, and she is a witch in secret, right? While she's hiding the fact that she's a witch, she's not hiding herself. She is a heiress to a fortune, and she is a society girl, so she goes around society blending herself with all of the other revolutionaries, and she uses her position to gain information and use that information to save witches from being purged. There is a true enemies to lovers dynamic going on here. When I say true, I mean that they truly hate each other and they stand on complete opposite sides. She's a witch, right? He is one of the best witch hunters. So that doesn't match. I'm 71% into that book and I'm really excited to continue reading that this weekend. I will let you guys know how that goes. I'm also reading Butcher and Blackbird. You guys already saw me doing that. I am only 100 pages into this. I am guilty of being a mood reader. So even though I bought the book a month ago, I've been just reading other books that I was more in the mood for. And so I 100% procrastinated on starting the book, and I only started it this week. I know that I won't be able to finish it by the time that the meeting starts, especially because I'm hosting, so I need to set up and everything, but I hope they can forgive me. I will finish it. It did grab me immediately when I started reading, like, first chapter, first page. I was immediately hooked. I was in the web. If you've read it, you know. Pun intended. The book is basically a dark romantic comedy. So the two main characters, Rowan and Sloane, they are serial killers, but their victims are all serial killers. So they are cruel murderers, but they only hunt people that are horrible anyway, and that kill innocents. So that's sad. They meet in a very funny way. I'm not even gonna say how they meet because, like I said, it immediately hooked me, and I want to give you guys that experience if you decide to read it. Very excited to continue to read it, even if it's after the book club meeting. So yeah, I'll see you guys then. And it's all on camera. Wait. Hello guys, another update for you. As you may have seen, book club was a success. I think I did a very good job decorating and making the cheese board, but everyone else brought dinner, snacks, wine, and yeah, I think we had a really good time. It was only our second meeting, but I think we clicked so well on the first meeting that at this point it didn't feel like we were basically strangers. I personally think we've connected very well, and that makes talking about books so fun. And yeah, I'm very grateful that I found all of these girls that I can share my hobby with. As for what I'm currently reading, I did read a little bit more of Heartless Hunter. I am 88% into that at the moment, so I'm thinking that I'm gonna be able to finish it either, probably not today, but tomorrow for sure. I don't know if I mentioned this, but there's a second book coming in February, and the way that the book is going right now, I only have 12% left, and something tells me it's going to end in a cliffhanger. Which is going to be torture to wait until February to see what happens next. But it's just something I'll have to bear because I'm having so much fun with the book, and yeah, I'm very excited to finish it. As for Butcher and Blackbird, I ended up reading for a bit after the girls left. I cleaned up and then I gathered some of the leftover snacks and the wine, and I sat down in the sofa and read for a couple hours, I think. I read another 100 pages, so I've made it to the 200-page mark. So far, I'm enjoying the book. I'm not thinking it's going to be a favorite or a 5-star read, but I am having fun with it. It is very funny. So, like I said, these are two serial killers who hunt other serial killers, right? Kind of like in Dexter. They decide to have a competition. So each year they meet up at a town or city, and they're supposed to be looking for a serial killer that hunts in that area. They're supposed to find the person and then hunt them, right? And the first one that gets to the killer gets the award, which is the pleasure of killing that person. My plans for today are to bake. I am going to be making pumpkin spice muffins, and then I want to take some of the decorations that I used in the book club meeting and put them around my room to enjoy them for the last week of October. And then I'm going to sit down and read Butcher and Blackbird. I have 140 something pages left. I don't know if I'll finish it tonight. I will attempt to do so, but if I don't finish it, I will at least try to make sure to read as much as possible today because I do want to finish it this weekend. So yeah, those are the plans, and let's get started with them. I actually didn't read at all yesterday, which was Sunday. So instead, I finished both Butcher and Blackbird and Heartless Hunter today. So it is finally time to wrap up this video. Let's start with Heartless Hunter first because that's the one that I finished first. So this book, I spent the last 30 minutes of this book sobbing so much. And not only sobbing, but scream crying, okay? I loved the ending. It was so much happened. So much happened. Some of my predictions came through, but in ways that I wasn't expecting. So that was a good balance of, ha, I'm right, but also I'm surprised here. So that was great. But yeah, that is 100% a 5-star book. I had predicted it to be a 5-star, but I had said that I didn't think it was going to be like a super high 5. I was wrong. I was wrong. I was so wrong. And if the second book is as good as this one, I can tell that this is going to become one of my favorite duologies. As for Butcher and Blackbird, here's the thing. I got up to page 300. I read the other 45 pages today, and let me just say that they were completely 100% unnecessary. So the action, like the finale, you know, happened and was like wrapped up by that 300 page mark. And after that, we had like 3 more chapters of them just being very cutesy with each other, and I get it, it was a dark romantic comedy. Still, I think it could have been wrapped up in 1 chapter, but it wasn't. But after that, there was a bonus chapter, which I obviously read because I was like, it's already here, might as well. I would like those 10 minutes of my life back. It was just more cutesy stuff, and then I was so bored at that point, I'll just be honest. However, still a 4-star, just because I had a really good time. I technically read this pretty fast. I don't read physical books in a week, ever, nowadays. But this one I technically read in less than a week. Very easy to read, hilarious, and it got the job done. I had a really good time filming this vlog, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching it as well. I would like to remind you guys that this is a very new channel, so I would really appreciate it if you guys liked, subscribed, commented, did all the things that you're supposed to do on a YouTube video. I also have a Bookstagram. My account is actually turning 3 years in November, and if you would like to follow me there, the link is going to be in the description down below, as well as the link for my Goodreads. That's it for today. I hope you guys have a lovely Halloween, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!